So who sees this video? Just her or your
Well,
classmates?
this is because it's the online course. We take this video, we upload it to YouTube, we put our YouTube link on our discussion board, and then we present a question that the class can get online and discuss throughout the all 30 plus of us in there, and that's what it's for. It's for her and the rest of our class to
Right.
As opposed to us, her sitting there teaching us a lesson.
Right.
We get to teach it to everybody else through you.
Yeah.
And that's how it's going to go so far.
Cool.
But like I said, this is Exercise Adherence and Psychological. I'm Patrick Anderson.
My name is Amanda Tuka.
And this is Jamal Threston.
How you doing?
He's been kind enough to meet with us today and talk to us a little bit about exercise. You want to start, Amanda?
Sure. What is your philosophy of personal training?
Right. So when it comes to personal training, my goal is to help people reach a higher stage of health. Essentially, we all start somewhere. We all want to be somewhere else. If we don't, maybe I try to help elicit that energy to want to be somewhere else. Because why do we want to just be comfortable where we're at? Everyone's health is decreasing every year. Cardiovascular diseases are up, diabetes is up, stress and tension and all that jazz is up. So this is something I have a really strong role when it comes to helping people get to a better place when it comes to health. I've helped people get off medications. I've helped people lose up to 200 pounds. All this stuff is changing people's lives and saving them. So that's my philosophy, is taking this role seriously like a physician would, and help people change and keep saving their lives, get them on a better path essentially.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: when it comes to how you plan out with your clients, I'm sure you set goals. How do you all manage to set a goal, and then how do you strive to reach that goal?
Yeah, so I like to first, where do we want to go? Do you want to lose 200 pounds? Do you want to get off medications? What do you want to be? Where do you see yourself? And then from there, it's all right, what do we have to do to get there? So let's just say, I just need to move more. I just need to eat healthier. All right, so that's what we need to do. So from there, it's all right, so what can we do in the next few months to achieve that? Rather it be, I just need to, just work out 3 days a week or 4 days a week, or I just need to, eat more vegetables. What is it specifically that we can do that's realistic in the next few months? And then we can even break that even further into a weekly goal and be like, all right, so what can we do in the next 7 days to, when it comes to working out? Like, all right, so you see yourself working out 3 days a week, great. So in the next 7 days, what days are those going to be? The more specific we can make it, the more likely they are to achieve it. So we write down what that is, and I let them write it down, because that research has found that when we write things down, we're more likely to achieve them. And then I asked them, because this is all planning, let's also foresee what can stop you. We think about obstacles, what's going to prevent you from doing that. Maybe it's time, or maybe it's something about the cats, or I don't know, your work or whatever. So whatever those obstacles are, we make strategies, and I help ensure those strategies are in place, and that helps them, actually accomplish those goals. If that helps or answers your question.
Oh yeah, definitely.
With each client that you have, do you find that each one is motivated towards different things?
Right. Yeah, they all have different motivations and reasons on why they're doing it. All in a nutshell, it's it either comes down to looking better or just having better health. But more specifically, I had a client before that he showed me a scar on his chest because he had a bypass surgery done a long time ago. He's like, every time I look in the mirror, this is why I do this. Whereas someone else may just be like, I always was big, I just want to see what it feels like to be thin. So some people have health-related goals, some people have body image, some people have a combination of the two. So everyone has a variance when it comes to why they're doing it, but that variance makes them be driven the same in different ways, I guess.
So when it comes to your goal setting, you tend to focus more on the long-term goals as opposed to, us. If I didn't have a personal trainer, I'd probably focus on our 3 days this week I'm going to work out. And as for you, it's more of a, what are we going to do in 2 months? How are we going to look in 2 months? Is that?
Yeah. It depends on what their goal is. Like if you want to lose 5 pounds, then we can focus on that. But if you want to lose 200 pounds, that goal is so far off that you may feel like, let's say you lose 10 pounds, congratulations, but you may feel like you didn't do anything. So that may, in return, actually be demotivating. So for someone like that, I'll focus more on, all right, let's just come to the gym, all right? Let's just get this going. You came in for 3 weeks so far, congratulations. Let's focus on that versus, the weight, the end goal that's ultimately in the long term. So it depends how far their goal is off and, what their goal is specifically when it comes to what I look at when it comes to goal settings. That answer your question?
Great, yeah.
With your older clients versus your younger clients, do you notice that they have they focus on different benefits of exercise?
Yeah, so the older they get, of course, the more health becomes a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at our current age group, we may not be focusing as much on I need to get off medications or my hip is about to go out and all that stuff. But, as we get older, that stuff comes up. So I have a lot of clients that come in with lower back pain, with diabetes, and a whole list of medications and just all kinds of stuff. So they are a lot more focused on health, but they still also focus on self-image too. Not all of them, they all vary, but I would say more people as they get older focus more on the health. Some people at our age, younger age, they may focus on health as well. Like, one of my goals is to not have high blood pressure because I've seen the effects of it. And I see some younger people. I had a client a few days ago, she's new, she's 36, and her mother passed away from cancer. So she's like, I don't want to deal with that. So, that's still, health can still be a factor as we're young. But I feel like health becomes more of a factor as we get older too. But I don't know what the statistics are equally on them, but I'm sure as we get older, it does become a bigger thing.
When we talk, most kids my age, when we talk about exercise, we think exercise, that's what's going to get us in shape, that's what's going to do it. But how important is nutrition in what you eat and how you go about doing everything else that you need to do in your everyday life?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you can run a mile or 2 or 3 every day, but if you eat pizza 3 times a day, I'm pretty sure you're going to have some issues down the road. I mean, nutrition is just as equally strong as exercise from what I've witnessed. If your goal is specifically fat loss, and I keep bringing that up because I specialize in weight loss, but if your goal is fat loss, I would say it is almost 70% of what you're doing. So nutrition is essential. If you are training to be stronger, you need a good amount of healthy carbohydrates and protein because you need the energy, first of all, to be able to do the weights. And good carbs help you get the energy, and you also need the protein so you can rebuild the muscles and things like that to continue doing weights and getting stronger. Of course, you need healthy fats as well for a variety of other reasons, like burning fat and being mentally strong and stuff. So nutrition is essential, absolutely. No doubt about that. So every exercise regimen should have a nutritional backing to it as well to help you adhere to it and perform and get the results you want.
Whenever your clients start to eat better and exercise more, do you notice that once they start seeing results, they tend to work harder than when they first normally joined?
Yeah, because when they see results, that is feeding the fire of why they're doing it in the first place. They love that. So majority of the time when I see someone reaching their goals, they keep going. They're driven. It's when they don't reach their goals or when their goals are really hard to reach when motivation can go downhill. So my goal is to make sure I can do whatever I can to ensure that they are doing the right things at the right time so they can see that they are getting the results they want and can continue on and be motivated.
What kind of strategies do you use? Like say you have a client that doesn't reach that goal on what they want and they're down a little bit. What do you do to kind of get them back up and get them going again?
So I have to feed the fire. So one of the things I've taught in a class that was about motivation before was that there's 2 different fires. There's a fire that we can feed that can motivate us, and there's a fire that we can feed that demotivates us. So if we're having issues reaching a goal, if it's a big struggle, like let's just say that your goal is weight loss, and for a while you've had some success, but here recently you're not having as much success, and almost every week you're either gaining weight or losing weight, and it keeps fluctuating. So every time that I weigh you in and we're gaining weight, that is feeding the fire of demotivation. So I have to make sure that we're not weighing in weekly. I've had clients that I was like, all right, listen, what does weighing in do for you? What is it doing it for your mind? Are you getting more motivated or demotivated? And what do we need? We need motivation to do this, right? So why are we weighing in? Let's weigh in once a month instead of once a week, or let's do tape measurements instead. So I have to make sure that I'm keeping them motivated by feeding the right fires. So I'll remind them, and they'll remind themselves of why they're doing it in the first place. We'll change our focus into the process of it, and we'll look at other things that they've been successful at. Maybe they haven't been successful at weight loss, but they've been very successful at increasing their strength and being faster, and also maybe getting off a medication or something that sounds really good to them. So we focus on the good things, and the bad things we kind of reduce that as much as we can to keep them going, essentially.
All right. can you explain a little bit the trans theoretical model and how you implement that into how you work with your clients?
Yeah, I'm very aware of the model. I mean, I know, there's the different stages of it, the pre-contemplation, contemplation, what was the next one, action, I believe, or whatever. So, I was very aware of it for a while because I love the psychological aspects of all of this. Though I will be honest, it's not something I use a lot, honestly, when it comes to my field. I mean, it happens, and I'm aware of it happening, but I don't, at least from what I do, I haven't really been like, okay, we are in action stage, we are in the maintenance stage. Oh, now, of course, I do know they're there again, but it's not something I use commonly. Mm-hmm. But, it happens for sure. I mean, I can tell if someone's getting a habit when someone's not getting a habit and things like that. But the majority of people that I get, they are at least motivated enough to go ahead and get the action stage. So I can get them into that pretty quick, and as a trainer, I can just get them into that maintenance, as quick as I can. So, yeah, I don't really use the model as much as I thought I would, but, it's a good model. Mm-hmm. I mean, I definitely understand it for sure.
With someone that's trying to work on their fitness, do you have usually like a general fitness plan you use, or does it each just depend on each client and what their goals are?
It's very individual. So not only does it depend on what their goals are, but it also depends on what their health is. For example, someone with lower back issues may not be able to do a lot of ab exercises and things like that. Mm-hmm. So there is a broad way that'll help someone reach their goals. There's different ways you can increase your strength maximally. There's different ways you can burn fat maximally, all that stuff. But the specifics of how I do that will vary depending on the person. There may be a guy who hates bench press or just is too old to be able to do it, or maybe not too old, but doesn't have the abilities to. So I won't be doing a bench press. I won't have everyone do the same exercises because I won't work for everyone's, their bodies and just what they like and dislike. So yeah, I have a research-based method of helping them reach their goals, whatever goal that is. But then how I specifically do that will vary depending on who I'm dealing with and what they have essentially. Yeah.
You mind explaining some of the programs you have here that you've implemented to help you?
Yeah, so something I've found that's important when it comes to motivation is, sometimes we just need to, you may have heard of purpose. There's 3 different things that they found that can help motivation. I think it was purpose, control, and I don't know what the last one was. I can't think of it right now. But anyways, one of those things, to gain more control over stuff, I've created this program called Body Shape. Some of them are free, some of them aren't. I have a class coming up this Saturday and Friday, and these are free for members and non-members, so you guys can have these when I'm done, so any of you can take these and come here for them. But I created a program that's very educational to help empower people so they can feel more knowledgeable. And the more knowledgeable we feel, the more control we may feel like we have over all this, and that may help our abilities. The third one was mastery. I just remembered it now. But you can't master something if you're not continuing your education. So I help educate people on nutrition. Like I have a class called Nutrition for Fat Loss, basically. This is to help people gain the nutritional knowledge for fat loss, so they feel like they're in more control over it. That they feel like they're mastering it. That's going to help their motivation. That can help them lose the weight faster. That's what I want to do is fuel that motivation. So that's what these classes are for, basically. So yes, so you guys can have these, and if anyone wants more information on that, you can contact me. But yeah.
I've heard of, do you know what a fitness plateau is?
Yeah.
Where they notice they haven't been losing any more weight or gaining muscle. What do you normally do to help combat that?
I educate them very thoroughly. I let them know what is more than likely going on. So we have this phenomenon called eating less and working out more. That's going to be phasing out. If it's not, I'm going to try to make it phase out, because when you eat too little food, your scale can stop moving. I've seen the scale literally stop moving from someone who's running. Let's say that you're running, an hour a day. You're running an hour a day, and you're eating the right foods, but the scale isn't going anywhere. And that may be because you're not eating enough. So I educate them on points like this so they know why they're at a plateau. And then I show them how to get out of that and what they have to do to get out of that to continue succeeding. So being at a plateau can be very demotivating. So it's really important to know why you're there, how you're there, and what you have to do to get out of it, so you can that rekindles oh, I can make it. I'm not stuck. Yeah. It's So it's really important to know why they're at a plateau, so I can educate them and get them a better stage, essentially. But plateaus do exist. They do.
From your point of view, what do you how do you see the relevance of personal trainers in today? Do you feel like there's more people out there that need them that don't use them, or do you think that they're just an underutilized tool?
Yeah, they are definitely underutilized. So personal training today is interesting. First of all, if you go to a gym now, you'll see a lot of people, especially younger, who will be doing weights and are just doing like this. And first of all, when you do stuff like that, you're not maximally working out the muscle you're targeting, and also you're putting your lower back and other areas at risk. And a lot of people don't know that. So it's really important to have that education, and I think a personal trainer is a great tool to provide that education. I will say today, so dietitians, for example, they have a lot higher standards right now. To get into that row, you got to go through a board and all that stuff. When it comes to personal training, it's not there yet. I think someday it will get there, but what you'll find in the personal training field right now is there's variances of the qualities of trainers you'll find. Some of them may have got a certification that they bought offline, and some of them, like here at Milestone, we were both degreed and certified from the top organizations in personal training. So because of that, sometimes the way we're looked at is viewed wrong, because there may have been a bad trainer that really did something stupid with another trainer or another client and makes me look bad. And also TV shows like, what's it called? Like, any of those TV shows.
I know what you're talking
Biggest
about.
Loser, for example, makes me look bad because people come in expecting a boot camp workout, but that's not what I want to give them because that's not the best for them unless they really want that. Right? If they demand that, sure, I'll give it to them, but that's not what we do. We want things to be safe and efficient and all that stuff. So personal training, regardless, I think it's good to have someone who is somewhat knowledgeable. But you do want to make sure the trainer that you find is certified and preferably degreed, but at least certified from at least ACSM, NASM, what else? There's some other ones I can tell you, but it's from a good organization, basically. So personal training, I think, is going to keep evolving. There's going to be more requirements for what a trainer is. They'll have more rows and things. They're in corporations right now. They should be in hospitals, I think, eventually. I think they'll be put into some good places in the future. So everyone should definitely find one at some point, at least to begin things.
With types of exercises, do you think aerobic or anaerobic is better than helping to boost moods?
Moods? I do believe research has found either or is going to be great at helping mood, because when it comes to stress, we have a lot of hormones coming out that are the stress hormones, and if we're not using those correctly, then that's just going to be no good, essentially. So what exercise can do, whether it's aerobic or anaerobic, is help use those in the manner that they were designed to use. Because back in the caveman days, when you were stressed, you're running away from a tiger, maybe not, I don't know. But let's just say that's true. You're stressed and you're actually either fighting the thing or you're running away from it. Whereas now you're just stuck in traffic and you're not doing either of those. So if we're stressed, they always recommend to move for a reason, because we're using those hormones the way that they were designed when we're actually moving. So yeah, either aerobic or anaerobic, whether that be sprints or just a walk or a mild, moderate intensity run, any of that should be beneficial to some degree when it comes to mood. Personally, when I'm angry, I love to do some sprints, and I feel 1,000 times better after that. So I don't know, it varies from person to person, but regardless, just do something. Something's better than nothing when it comes to stress, for sure. Absolutely. So they're both good.
Do you have anything else?
This is a personal question, but with cardio, I mainly do the elliptical and stuff. Do you suggest switching it up so that I'm not always just doing the same thing for 30 minutes?
I mean, I will say variety is the spice of life. But if that's the only thing you can do, for example, I love running, I hate mostly everything else, then that's better than nothing. So when it comes to any kind of cardio or anything you do in general, you want it to be moderately challenging. So if it's not challenging to you anymore, then it may be beneficial to look into what can I do. What can I do to make this more challenging, whether it be increasing the intensity, the speed, the resistance, or it may even involve trying a different machine. But as long as it's a challenge to you, it's helping you reach your goals, you can do whatever you want, honestly. But just it's important to eat a variety of vegetables because they all offer different things. It may be beneficial to try other things on top of the elliptical too, just for health reasons or whatever, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make
sense.
Yeah.
All right, I don't have any more questions.
I don't think I do.
All right, I think we're good.
All right.
20 minutes.
Oh, what?